So I'm sure you guys remember, it was not that long ago that Katie Porter lost her election to Adam Schiff and what was his name? Garvey, the MAGA candidate in California. They have what's called a jungle primary, so the Democrats and the Republicans run together in the primary, and the top two vote getters move on to the general election. So Katie Porter and Barbara Lee ended up not making the cut. It's a goddamn shame. They should have been more strategic. They should have gotten together. They should have picked one of them, and then they would have had a chance if they did that, right? They didn't do that. But in the aftermath of Schiff and Garvey making it to the next round, Katie Porter tweeted that, look, proud of what we did here, and thank you to everybody who voted for us, and it's a shame that this government was rigged by billionaires pumping in their big money. Something to that effect. I mean, I'm paraphrasing there, but that's the gist of it. Well, you would think that she nuked Hiroshima and Nagasaki again, based on the reaction from all the, polite liberal media types. They were furious. And they were furious because they play this game where they go, you sound like Trump when you say that. You don't say that. That makes us sound like MAGA. That makes us sound like election deniers. That really got under my skin because everybody understands the context of what she was saying and what she meant. And what are we supposed to just never use the word rigged in politics again now because Trump tainted it by using it incorrectly? Apparently that's their position. So Katie Porter goes on the Pod Save America podcast, which, by the way, I think she probably thought, I'm going into friendly territory. These guys are all Obama-era alums, however you say it. I don't know. I don't care. And they're like sort of milquetoast Democrats. But, every now and then they play sympathetic to the more fire-breathing, left-leaning politicians. But they're going to ask her, they're going to mock her to her face here. What you're about to see, okay? And this is basically like, apologize. Bend the knee. Say that all of us, elite, smug, snide, liberal pricks were correct to pile on after you said the word rigged. This really infuriated me. And she plays along. I think it's pathetic, but she ends up playing along. Let's watch and then we'll react.
You got in some controversy when you exited the race by using the word rigged to describe it. How do we stop the steal? Is Hugo Chavez involved?
So in other words, it's a joke comparing her directly to Trump. It's like, oh, right, you're saying stop the steal. And, MAGA said that Hugo Chavez flipped the votes in the voting machines. You guys know the Smartmatic, Dominion, all these things that they would lean into. They're comparing her directly to Trump. Mocking her to her face. It's a joke, but the core of the joke is, why would you use that language and be like them?
How do we stop the steal? Is Hugo Chavez involved? And how do we stop him?
So obviously, I wish I had chosen a different word.
No, Katie. No, don't do this. Don't do this. I hate it when people cave and give in to bad faith attacks. And make no mistake about it, this was a flat-out bad faith attack. It was the attempt to do the enlightened centrist tap dance to say, we're holier than thou. We're not like the other side. We make sure we never question anything ever about elections, ever, ever, ever. But that's just dumb. Billionaires do rig elections with the colossal amount of money that they pump in.
Obviously, I wish I had chosen a different word, because what happened with the controversy was it took away from two really important truths. One, our California election officials do a terrific job. I have been through competitive...
Nobody questioned that. You didn't question that. Oh, why are you pretending like that interpretation is a good faith interpretation from people?
...elections where it has taken days to count, and so I have tremendous respect for them. So want to really make clear that at no time and in no way would I ever suggest that there's anything other than a careful, thoughtful, amazing election system that actually should be the model for a lot of the country, in my opinion. The second truth that is really important that got lost in all of that is that big money does influence our elections. Outcomes are manipulated and distorted when you have people coming in spending millions and millions of dollars at the last minute, and that money is not disclosed until after the election, so people don't know about it. They can't take it into account when they vote. And we're already seeing, like with this Fair Shake PAC, they're making noises about threatening Sherrod Brown, John Tester, these are people who are not necessarily interested in making sure Democrats have the majority and we can stand up to Donald Trump. They have a very different agenda than I feel like this entire race should have been about.
And by the way, she's even soft pedaling it. She's being too nice. As we discussed, what Adam Schiff did is he helped to fund the MAGA opponent. Millions of dollars for the MAGA opponent. The whole idea is boost his profile as much as possible, give him more money than he would ever get on his own, more advertising than he would ever get on his own, so that you spur the MAGA folks in California. Now you say California is overwhelmingly liberal. True, but stop and think about it. On the liberal side, they're splitting their vote 3 or 4 different ways, maybe even more than that. So Schiff literally didn't care if this guy, Garvey, beat him in the primary, because it doesn't matter. Once you get to the general, he would be in second place. So it'd be him versus the MAGA guy in the general. He knows he's going to beat the MAGA guy in frickin' California, one of the bluest states. So it was a dirty, sleazy trick. To be clear, it is not illegal. Nobody's claiming it's illegal. But it is just dirty, sleazy, gutter politics. It's cheap tricks to try to get ahead, is what it is. She didn't even bring that up here, right? If you're asking me and I'm in her shoes, of course I'd fucking bring that up. And then, of course, I would have doubled down on the rig point vis-a-vis billionaires. Yes, you can't have dark money coming in. Forget dark money. I even hate it when people just say dark money. Money, period. Money, period. Dark just means they don't disclose who it is. Even if they disclose who it is, it doesn't make it good. It doesn't mean that, hey, Boeing spent $1 million in this race and we know it was Boeing. Oh, so now it's okay? No, it's still bad even if you know it. Even if it's light money, not dark money. It's still bad. So her point was, yeah, this election was swayed by big money. Guys, this is an old statistic I'm going off of. It may even be higher now, but when it comes to the House and the Senate, it's over 92% of the time. The person that raises the most money ends up winning. Why? Because they go out there, they could, do more mailers, they can do more ads, their name is bigger in the conversation, the media takes you more seriously when you raise a lot of money. That's a disgrace. Because that's the incentive structure of the system is the biggest sellout is always the favorite. If anything, I'd like it the exact opposite way. But that's not how it is. And so she calls that out and people pretend like she was saying some Donald Trump shit of the voting machines were hacked and they flipped it and they were all voting for me, but they voted for Schiff because of the cheating. And she didn't say that. Everybody knows she didn't say that. Everybody knows she didn't mean that. This is a stupid, bad faith, fake controversy. And she just gave in to the bad faith attacks. And the fucking Pod Save Bros are pathetic for helping to push that. Yeah, I know. The corporate media jackals, the Jake Tappers of the world, Adam Schiff, like they had a field day with, us Democrats are better than this. We want to totally ban the word rigged in politics always and forever because Trump used it incorrectly. But that's stupid. That's stupid. And by the way, those are the same people who bemoan the idea of people doing both sidesism, false equivalency. Oh yeah, there's good and bad on both sides. There's mostly bad on both sides, right? This is the ultimate false equivalence. This is the ultimate both sides bullshit. There is no analogy. There's no comparison between Katie Porter correctly saying billionaires rig elections and Donald Trump lying about him winning the election. He didn't win it. He didn't win it. Voting machines weren't hacked. There's been lawsuits over that, and the voting machine companies are winning. He did over 60 court cases, lost. Right? We don't need to go through all this. You guys know. Hugo Chavez had nothing to do with it. Maduro had nothing to do with it. All the claims they made about, oh my God, the late night vote dump, sending flips. Hey, idiots, it was the order that they counted the votes in many of these states. On the day, Trump did better. The mail-in, Biden did better. Some states counted mail-in second. Yeah, in those states, it's going to look like he surges and comes back to win. That's just the way it works. The Red Mirage scenario, we talked about that. That's what ended up unfolding. They used that to claim it's rigged. It's not rigged. But when Katie says it's rigged, she's 100% correct. And nobody is being honest about that. So, pathetic. Pod Save Bros are losers. Katie shouldn't have even given in as much as she did. And I think that conclusion is clear. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. I love y'all very much. You guys know the drill. Everybody, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. You can leave a like, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. Thank you to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. Please consider supporting if you're not. That link is below. $5 a month goes a very, very long way. And remember, I never talk to advertisers, don't do any ad reads or any of that stuff. We're not like the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro where he talks for like 3.5 minutes, then he has to do a 30-second or minute-long ad. He squeezes like 2 ads into a 12-minute-long video. Pathetic. Disgusting. We're not like that. I don't want to be like that. We're never going to be like that. But that means we rely on your guys' support, small dollar donations, whether tipping on YouTube with the thanks button or supporting on Patreon. And that's all I got for you. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Much love. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.